Welcome everybody to this new episode of the Women in Technology Spotlight. With me today, I have Karina Popova. She is the team lead for technical account managers at DataDog. Welcome, Karina.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me for this amazing interview.
So that our viewers get to know you also a little bit. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Karina.
So I'm, as you said already, a team lead for technical account managers and DataDog. But basically, I'm an engineer with a long time career, more than 15 years, and I live right now in Hamburg, in Germany, but I lived before in 5 different countries as well and worked there. And yeah, I have a cat, have a boyfriend, have a normal life with focusing on IT. All my hobbies and interests are in this area.
Mm-hmm. Okay, already something interesting there. You say you lived in 5 countries. So what was the journey before you came to Hamburg? Where did you live? Where are you from, actually?
Yeah, it was quite some journey because I'm originally from Russia, and I did my first bachelor in IT in Russia. But then I decided to try something new with my classmates, and we went to Singapore for half a year and we tried some startups projects. And at this moment, I also received my scholarship to study in Portugal. It was my master degree in geospatial technologies. And yeah, it's cool stuff. It's, if you can imagine, like Google Maps. You basically take an image from satellite, and then with some programming magic, let's say, you try to analyze where are the roads, where is the forest, and you can perform different analytics on it. If the area is growing, for example, or if it's reducing through time. And after this, I went to UK for a bit, and somehow I found my way to Hamburg. I got a really good job offer. I would never imagine to live in this city, but it worked out this way. And now I'm already for, I think, 6 years in Hamburg. Mm-hmm. So it feels like home.
Let's go back to your education. You said you studied in Russia for your first bachelor degree. You did computer science there, or
IT? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, information technologies. Mm-hmm. So with it's kind of computer science, let's say, but with more focus that I can actually be a teacher at school, for example, and I can enable other people to use IT. So that was the main focus. And I also did an additional education in economics. So it was more like how to apply economics and IT. So in 2006, it sounded amazing.
I see. One question about your background. So you studied information technology, which is not one of the main, how can I say, main targets of women usually. Do you have a background family-wise in IT? Did any of your parents? How did you develop your interest in this subject?
I always were interested in many different things. And actually I was choosing between going to like history education to do some bachelor in history or bachelor in IT. So it sounded really crazy. So I was able, and it was a decision overnight. So the last night when I needed to go to university and apply for something, I thought, okay, IT, because I really loved computers. I really was, even that I was enjoying all the history and journaling and everything, I was still much into doing all of this with the help of IT. So I always saw computers as a tools which can help you to achieve something in life. And I thought I want to know more about it. And then it was a great choice. But I was, of course, a single girl on my course, the only one there, and which was challenging, let's say.
That would have been my next question. How many women studied there with you? So you were the only one?
I was the only one. We had some like additional groups, whereas the focus was more on math, let's say, and algorithms. There were some more girls, so it was my friends, my friends.
I assume that in economics it was different. I mean, there probably were more girls there, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It was the other way around. And also, yeah, more focused, let's say, yeah, more interesting crowd.
Okay, interesting that you would say that. So not only were you the only woman, you also found that the atmosphere wasn't as stimulating among only the men, or what do you mean by they were the more interesting crowd?
Yeah, it was more friendly, let's say it this way.
Mm-hmm.
I would never say that I had a bad experience working with men or
Mm-hmm.
studying next to men, but it was hard to push for my ideas always.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
unless with the time now I kind of learn a way how to talk, how to present myself, how to position my ideas right. But back in times like 15 years ago, it was really hard to be heard. It was really hard to impact the project by being a woman. And I'm really glad to see that nowadays we have a big change here.
Yes, I think that is something that a lot of women experience, that they are not actively ignored, but just overlooked. I mean, I don't even think it's bad intent. Men tend
No,
not.
I also don't see so.
Yeah. So this is an issue we have been experiencing for a while, and I'm glad that it's getting better. And I'm also glad that you found strategies to work around that and to make yourself heard. This is a very important evolution that you have to go through as a woman, you know, just making your ideas louder.
And you also need to find kind of a balance, because not all of your ideas are good. You have also to accept it. You should be open to this constructive feedback, but you always need to identify, is this feedback really constructive? So
definitely. So then you said you went to Singapore to start a startup project with some classmates. Were those from the economic side or from the IT side?
From IT side, from really cool IT guys. And the project itself was about like in Singapore at that moment, they did build lots of skyscrapers. And the whole project was about planning office space inside of these buildings intelligently, that everyone will get the appropriate amount of space the way they need it. But also, if you plan it well in advance, you can, of course, rent it way earlier. And so that was interesting for companies on the stage when the building was still constructed, that they already can look at 3D models of this office space and understand what they need, what they not. Nowadays, it's a simple tool thing, but when
things have evolved.
But,
but that's not stuff that was around readily available at that time.
No, absolutely not. And it will involve lots of technologies and lots of course, business plans, economics, trying to calculate all of and the company actually survived for about 5 or 6 years. Because then we are all got a bit involved with our life, you know, like I went to study in different country. The guys also had their own career developed because they're really great programmers. And so they're the ones who participate in all this worldwide championship. And so just the focus went, and it was more a fun project for us, that we tried something, we saw how it works. And then we can bring all this experience now to the companies where we work.
Yeah, I think it's great just to, if you have the opportunity, just to try out, you know, being an entrepreneur, having your own company, following an idea, just to see how it is, especially if you have the opportunity. And I also feel, since you then went to Portugal and you studied something with spatial, what was it exactly?
Geospatial.
Yeah, geospatial technology. I think that ties in a little bit with what you did there, because that's also, I think, same kind of technology, even if
it's a bit, it's common. Somehow I find myself always in observing the space, monitoring something, trying to find some common patterns and this kind of things. Yeah,
that's actually true. Visibility, it's some kind of visibility and monitoring. Yeah, interesting that you should.
But I never thought that I will go so deep into monitoring in my life, like right now. Yeah, working for DataDog, it's another level.
Before we come to what you do now, tell me a little bit more about what you did in the UK and what you did before you went to DataDog, because I believe you were a speaker as well, right?
Absolutely right. So I found the companies that were very open for new modern ways of promotion of technologies. And because I have a very extensive educational background, I was really good in presenting, being on the stage, and with a very scientific language, let's say, which I'm losing now. But yes, so they were open to try something new. They had some startup ideas, and I basically decided to apply to different conferences and speak about these new projects. And the main area was IoT, Internet of Things, which 2015 was like just a first popular keyword in Europe, at least. Everyone was around it, and it went super successful. I was, I think, on more than 100 conferences speaking about it, with different application, with IoT in health area, IoT in agriculture, IoT in security. So different topics. And the product itself got really popular in Germany. We increased our sales by 500% per year. We received an award as the best IoT innovation in Germany in 2016, I think. So it was an interesting combination of having a really strong product behind you and also going on all these events, presenting it, seeing the power. My main task was not to sell it, which I enjoy, but to enable people and to gather feedback back from developers. Then I would bring it back to the company and we would improve the product. And of course, this communication between developers and the product team speed up the whole development process.
So you were something like an evangelist, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
About making people aware of the technology, getting their ideas on what they actually need out in the field, which is a lot like design thinking, you know, where you actually have this feedback loop between development and actually the users, which is often lacking. I think that contributed to the good result you saw with
absolutely. It is it's very important for every company to be open for this kind of feedback, to have this communication going on, because we cannot develop a good product without feedback from developers.
True.
And it's funny that you say it was cool to be between this, but I call it always that I was between two fires, you know, because sometimes you receive a great feedback, but it's hard to put it on a roadmap for the product. And so you always need to, again, I'm coming back to the topic of balancing between these two. But it's a very interesting job, and it's very interesting people you meet in this way. So I think now I have about 25,000 on my LinkedIn developers and other evangelists and CTO level people, just with whom we can constantly talk about technologies. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's also something that women are good at, is communication, which obviously you were really good at. That's why you were able to promote this product so well. And the other thing is networking. So communication and networking is so important in IT nowadays. It's actually the exact opposite of what people think when they think about working in IT, where they think you're sitting on your own programming and doing stuff in a cellar. Yeah. So these communication skills, I guess they also help you with your job now?
Absolutely. Now I'm facing customers every day. I think I have about 3 to 4 meetings a day. And of course, this skill of being able to react on anything that comes your way, being able to prioritize what is important, what is not, what we have to do immediately. I'm thankful that I had an opportunity to be evangelist before this role.
Yeah, I can imagine that this experience helps you a lot in your current role. But maybe you could explain to someone who doesn't know what a technical account manager does, what your
Absolutely.
role is.
Yes, so I'm basically doing the same. I'm just point of contact between DataDog and the customer. And we have a big enterprise customers who is highly relying on DataDog in monitoring. Basically, when something goes wrong, the first thing they go to DataDog, they try to troubleshoot it, they try to find the root cause. And because they rely so much on us, they need to have an additional level of support, let's say, an additional person who can guide them and say, yeah, maybe you set up it a bit in the wrong way. Maybe there is a best practice on how to do it. And I'm this person. And then I'm gathering again the feedback from our biggest customers, bringing back to the product, connecting them, connecting different products between each other. And this is what helps to develop a better product at the end, which helps on it's an interesting position because you kind of see the whole company, you see everything. Right now, I think we have more than 20 products already. So, and I'm supposed to know at least half of this information. And educate myself daily and educate other people on it. But the way it's structured in DataDog, it's very easy to communicate, and networking is the main point, and I'm good at it. So
yeah, communication is one of your top skills, I think.
I hope so.
Apart from understanding technology, obviously. I feel that this whole monitoring and visibility also ties in a little bit into the whole IoT thing, because you have something that creates data that you then centralize and analyze and then produce a picture of what is happening. So there is some connection, kind of. I mean, I know it's not the same thing, but it kind of reminds me, you have sources of data that come together and give you a picture of something.
Yeah, and then you need to analyze it and try to find some patterns there and try to improve
again, where with
so yeah, I would a year ago, so I joined DataDog a year ago, I would never think that I would work in a monitoring company. I always use the tools, but I never put really so much attention on it, which I regret now. And I think, wow, I should have spent more time, because this is really a core of every business. Because the monitoring is kind of, sometimes people say, oh, we're going to sign a contract with you for 3 months. And then always comes a question. So after 3 months, you will stop monitoring your system, really? You stop, will your business stop growing? No, so, and it's a big part. You need constantly to look at it in order to be better, serve your own clients at the end in order to earn some money. So it's very interesting part of business, which I myself never thought before, and maybe that could bring me even better results.
Yes, you're right. Monitoring visibility, especially visibility nowadays, is a big thing, because especially as our data centers are getting more distributed, you have, your cloud, you have your on-prem, you have your users everywhere, everybody's using data. Visibility is such a key factor to understanding what's actually going on, what resources you need to scale, what security you have to implement. So this is a big thing, definitely. And you told me you haven't been at DataDog that long, but I know you've already been promoted to team lead. So congratulations. I feel that you're really happy doing what you're doing there. Can you tell us a little bit about what you look for in a job when you choose working for someone, or what you enjoy?
Yeah, so because I have this extensive background in education and my previous work experience, I was in a position where I could basically look at different companies and make a decision, not a desperate decision, but really a decision what I want to have. And in DataDog, I started reading a lot about their company culture. It was very important for me, how people inside the company treat each other. And I read really good reviews and I wanted to try it out. And during the interview process, everyone was just amazing. It was so easy. And being a remote candidate from another country, because it's an American company and I live in Germany, it might be very challenging, but it was just so smooth. And I thought, okay, why not? I will just try it out. And if I don't like it, I can quit in a month and go for something else. Because it's still like DataDog is I think in Europe, at least, it's not so well known comparing how it's popular in US. And yeah, so I decided to try it out. And from day one, the way they structured onboarding, the way how many inclusive workshops about inclusivity, about diversity, about all of these topics, we have it on a monthly basis. So it just felt good. And at some moment I realized I'm waking up every morning and I'm super happy to go to work. The people with whom I'm working, they're all brilliant. And our HR, I think, does an amazing job because it really hires these stars, I would call them. And for me, one of the biggest motivation, it's actually people with whom I work. When I see that they are successful, it also motivates me to work even better and to be on the same level. And so that's culture, that's openness. You can text anyone with any question and the person would never reject you. He will actually try to help you and find the right answer for you or find the right person. And it just feels like a family all the time. It doesn't matter to which department you talk. And so I'm coming from idea that nowadays lots of people can learn IT. It's not so hard with all these boot camps, with all the workshops, with all the courses online. You can learn it. But what is important in the company is a culture. And this is the main point for me, is the main point of decision. And
yeah, I hear you. I hear that culture is a big thing. And I think we need to emphasize that because IT is one of those areas where you can always earn a lot of money. I've talked to a couple of women, all of them have stressed how this makes them financially independent, how it makes them able to structure the day better because they have a lot of flexibility. And this are all reasons to go into IT. But when you look at it, it's stuff that you're doing every day. So I guess culture is something you should definitely look at when you're looking at switching jobs. Because also what you did, switching jobs or starting a new job in the middle of a pandemic is a bit of a jump, you know, it's risky. So
it was.
Yeah.
But I woke up January 2020 in the morning and I saw it 1st of January. This is my year, I'm gonna change a job. And then when I signed the contract 2 days before the official lockdown in Germany, and it was very risky. It was, yeah, I was lucky that it all played this way, but.
Yeah. Coming back to maybe a little bit of history, because now you're obviously in a position where you're happy, where there's diversity, there's inclusion, you feel like you're working for a family. What are the stumbling blocks you encountered along your way being a woman in IT? What can you expect? What would you recommend women to think about when they start into IT, or what they might just simply ignore because it doesn't actually matter?
I actually wanted to focus more on ignoring that. You always have yourself, and you should be very good and self-aware, let's say, about your skills and knowledge. And if you know that you don't know something yet, just work on it. Just keep learning, studying, but never believe that you cannot succeed. You will always succeed. It's just a steady growth and steady accumulation of all this knowledge. My biggest advice to everyone, never stop learning. Always try to find something new. In IT, it's very important. The technology changes so fast. And if you are not on a trend, let's say, if you're not reading constantly something, what is happening in this area, you can still stay at this job for 20 years. Like I see some people, they're doing it, but they're still on-prem, let's say, and you have to be able to have time to grow together with technology nowadays.
So you have to adapt as well as the technology, not only, you know.
You have to stay flexible at this job. Yes, there are some technologies which you might not like from the first sight, but don't hesitate, take your time, read about it, because somewhere, maybe in 5 years, someone will bring it up and you will know something about it. Why not? So it's a constant curve of self-learning. And that's why yeah, of course, there are some obstacles when you, as I said you at the very beginning, I had the feelings that my colleagues just don't hear me. I cannot push my ideas, but if you encounter this situation, try to research more about how to influence people. Yeah, it's hard, but there are some materials about it, and something will work out for you. But self-education is one of the main points. Yeah.
I think that that's very well put, that you have to keep on developing skills, and this can be technical skills on the one hand, because you cannot stop learning, and the other side is that you have to develop yourself. I mean, you will always encounter some stumbling block, and somebody might not be in a way that you like, but you can always work on yourself, and that's the thing you can actually influence, your knowledge and your personal skills, and that will take you forward. And I think there's another interesting piece of information there, because technology is changing so much. It doesn't actually matter whether you have been around for 20 years or not, you know. What you actually need to be able to do is keep on top of what's happening, and you can always start, because there's so much new stuff happening. You can start to learn, and then you can grow with it. And I think that is also an information for many women who are maybe interested but don't have all these long experience, that they can now start learning.
Absolutely. It takes some dedication. So I think in this, but it says in any job, you have to love it.
Yes,
you have to be curious about it. You have to have this inner interest. And if you have it, then of course it will not be a problem for you to read one more article at the end of the day to see what's going on. So, but you have to be enthusiastic about it.
And again, we are with a bit with a passion for technology. I mean, it's there's this saying by Simon Sinek: you shouldn't hire for knowledge, but for passion, because you can teach knowledge, but you cannot teach passion. I mean, of course, I mean, I don't even want to say that you have to follow your passion when looking for a job, because passion can come with knowing more about the job. A lot of women don't actually know what we do in IT. And actually, a lot of people don't understand what IT means, what kind of roles there are, what technologies there are. So maybe when you go into IT, then you might find something you're actually passionate about. Now you might just have a mild interest, and it might grow into a passion, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I always try to say that for me, the whole IT and computers are just tools to reach some other results. It's what helps us. It's not like usually people try to treat it as the main point. No, it's a connecting point, between you and data and something else. And we also talk about it that there are, when we hire, for example, that there are pleasure-driven people and purpose-driven people. And pleasure-driven people, they are always focused on money, how I can earn more or something. But we are looking for these purpose-driven people. Thinks, okay, how I can bring value to someone, what do I need to learn a bit more in order to bring better results, where can I go a bit, maybe an extra mile, but it's at the end I will feel better as a person. And this is what these people are, the core, let's say, of every good company.
That's also such an important segue into the fact that technology is not technology for technology's sake. This is something that is transforming society. And I think that is what hooked me on the whole topic in the beginning, because I studied chemistry. I did not study computer science or anything. And when I was doing my master's and my PhD, I was in theoretical chemistry. And that was on the onset of the internet. And what I saw there was this possibility to connect. You know, I immediately understood what kind of possibilities it opened, you know, and that's why I then wanted to know more about computers. It wasn't because I was terribly interested in the computer itself. It was actually around, you know, this amazing new possibility to talk to people, to find information, to interact over, you know, large distances. And yeah, we must always think, what is this technology doing to society? What is actually the benefit? It's not, okay, yes, I have this feature, I have this feature, yeah, but for what, you know?
Absolutely. So there are lots of also ethics involved in being a developer. And yeah, it's a particular profile of a person who has to work in IT, in my opinion, and they are mainly purpose-driven and mainly enthusiasts. This is the right word, I think.
And that brings me to another point, why I feel it's so important that more women work in IT, and why I'm doing this spotlight series. Because as you said, we need purpose-driven people, and we need people who are diverse, because technology is a reflection of the people who create it. And if you have only men of a certain type creating technology, then the output will be technology that is for them. But we need technology for the entire society. So I feel that we need more diversity, not only women, we need different religion, we need different cultural backgrounds, we need people from everywhere creating this technology that will support our society and transform our society, so that it will be usable for all of us. And then it will also reflect our needs and use cases. So that's why I feel we need so much more women here.
Yeah, and the main point, which I had to learn also from my experience, people think different than yourself. You have to accept it. But it's also a beauty of this. Being in a diverse environment, everyone thinks different, but at the end you get the best result from this being different. You need to accept that other people sometimes may be slower than you are, but they're more structured, for example. So there is always strengths and weaknesses in every person. And you need to focus on the strengths and bringing the whole team together. And yeah, in IT, it's very important to have this diverse environment.
Yeah. It's very true, because I see certain teams that consist mainly like of white 50-year-old men. And it's like talking to yourself. I mean, everyone has the same mindset, everyone has the same ideas, and it's kind of, there's nothing that kind of makes it grow. I don't know what the word is in English. Yeah.
The more diversity you have, the better. I agree with it. I saw it in my previous companies. I see it in my current company. Every time we bring someone new on board who is different, we change our direction a bit, like by a bit, but at the end we're already in an absolutely different place than we would be. And that's absolutely a very important topic. And that's why I'm also participating in all these mentoring, let's say, activities to tell women and girls, please go to IT, don't be afraid. And right now it's way better than it was 15 years ago. We're already here for you. Every time when you need an advice or you need a support, come to us and we will be able to help you. We will be able to resolve some situations, at least on a mental level. We were there before, and so we're there now for the next generation. It's important to be there. It's important to promote it too.
Mentoring, such an important topic as well. Are you in a mentoring program, or can people just connect with you on LinkedIn and ask you questions?
You can always connect to me on LinkedIn. Sometimes I have a bit of trouble with my 25,000 people there because LinkedIn are not able to handle all the messages. So, but don't hesitate, text me. If I don't reply, it's probably the message got
managed. And
just text one more time. I'm very happy to help other people. I'm very happy to, as you can see, I was on all these conferences, on many events. I know many companies, and I always hear about new position opening, about new junior position or senior position. And I'm always happy to be this, to connect people with the right companies and to give any advice, any tech source. If someone wants to learn something about a new language or something, I probably read about it already because I do it every day. And well, at least if you would like to have a good just conversation about technology.
That's wonderful. And that's a wonderful point to end this interview, actually. Thank you so much, Karina, for joining me here. Thank you for talking about your journey and offering to mentor other women, which is such an important topic, the support we can give to women who come after us. And yeah.
Thank you, Anke, very much for inviting me and for discussing all of these important topics. And I wish you a big success with this initiative. It's amazing. Thank you very much again.
Thank you and bye.
Bye.